Hello, today I'm going to show you how to take an average size model and slim her down to the meatiest then ideal using Photoshop. All you have to do is choose whichever image you wish to change. And then in the bottom right hand corner, where you see your background layer, you want to duplicate that layer. You can do that by pressing Command J, or if you're on a PC, simply right click on background and then select duplicate layer, and you'll get the same effect. Now, I like to double click on layer 1 and then rename that layer. I typically call it Slim Down. This lets me know that whatever changes I make on that layer, that's the change where the model has been slimmed down. Alright, let's make those changes. Select Filter, and then Liquify. This pops up a brand new window. This is the Liquify filter. The Liquify filter is where we will make all of the changes to our model. On the left-hand side, you see that there are several buttons with different tools to choose from. The most common is the first one, which is called the Forward Warp tool. Click on this, and then move your cursor over to the image, and you see that instead of an arrow, you have a circle. The circle is what allows you to make your changes, and it represents a paintbrush. To adjust the size of your paintbrush tip, use the left and right bracket keys on your keyboard. The left bracket key will make it smaller. The right bracket key will make your brush larger. Adjust as necessary. I like to use a medium-sized brush, like you see now. So to use the forward push tool, all I have to do is click and then push forward from the center of the circle. I like to start from the shoulder of the model and then work my way down her natural body lines. From her shoulders, through her hips, from her legs, and to her feet. Okay, now I'm moving on to the other side of the image, and I'm starting to tuck in her shoulder and her waist. And with that move, you just saw me reduce her hip to actually a straight line. This is pretty common in the industry, reducing hips and curves all to make a very slim, very unrealistic size model. And here you see, I'm just doing a few more touch-ups, just really getting my model how I want her to look. Tucking in her shoulders. The key here with the Liquify filter is to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're staying in proportion. So, right now you see I've made a pretty significant change using only one tool, the push forward tool. But now I want to show you the next tool. And the next tool is the reconstruct tool. This tool is fantastic. So let's say that there is something on the image that we changed, but we don't like how we changed it. I select it, click, and then I just start moving over the area where I don't like the change. And what you see is that this tool reconstructs our change to the original image. So just like that, click and move over the area you want to revert back. But because I didn't mess up there, I'm just going to use the forward push tool one more time and get this model back to how we had her. The reconstruct tool though is great to keep in mind because it allows you to just to fix one part of the image and you don't have to start all the way over. Okay, so she's looking pretty good, just about how we had her. So far, you've learned about the forward warp tool and the reconstruct tool. I want to tell you about two more tools. First is the pucker tool, then the bloat tool. These two tools are opposite. Pucker makes things smaller. You'll see, you still have the same circle of a brush tip, and if I put that where her belt is in the center and I start to click, you'll see it reduces the size of her waist. This tool is great for reducing a gut or even creating a thigh gap by pinching in between the legs. Alright, just a few more puckers on her. And now let's look at the bloat tool. The bloat tool does the opposite. Instead of making something smaller, it makes it larger. For instance, we could put our brush tip over her bust, and with a few clicks, we can really increase it. Now, this is a little difficult to see on a white shirt and also a loose shirt, but if you were to use this tool on any other image, you could really see the effect. The bloat tool is also handy for doing things such as increasing the eyes or the cheekbones of a model, as well as increasing the size of a muscle. So for male models, increase their biceps, increase their calves, things like that. Okay, the final two tools that we're going to look at are the freeze mask and the thaw mask. The freeze mask is wonderful. It allows you to select a certain part of your image and freeze those pixels in place. This allows you to make a change around an area without destroying it. So here you see that when I click and use the freeze mask, I get red. And the red simply shows what is frozen in place. I can use any other tool and go and try to make an effect, and you'll see that nothing happens. Those pixels are frozen and won't be damaged by whatever tool is being used. Okay, so I'm done with the red and I want to get rid of it. To do so, I use the thaw mask. Here I click on it. As always, I see the circle, and then I click and just simply move that circle, that brush tip, over the area that was frozen. And ta-da, the red is gone. Okay, so I can do just a few more little touch-ups to our model to get her looking exactly how we want her to look in our final project. To make this filter set in stone, I go to the top right and I click OK. And now I'm back to the original Photoshop window where we started. I see my two layers are there, and if I want to see a before and after, all I have to do is use the eyeball icons on either side. By clicking the eyeball on the slimmed down layer, it makes that layer disappear, thus revealing the before image. To see after, I simply turn that eyeball back on. Before and after. Before and after. And with that, you see the extreme changes we were able to make to this photo in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for watching, and happy media literacy training!